Hey everyone, welcome to Area 616. So, three things happened very recently regarding Jessica Jones Season 2. One, it started filming in early April. Then, it got a new cast member, and MCU Exchange, an awesome site for fans of the MCU, I'll put a link to it in the description, gave an exclusive scoop on some character descriptions given in a casting call for Season 2. So with all this news, I've decided to put together a video going over what exactly we know about Jessica Jones Season 2, along with some rumors and speculation. I did a video like this a bazillion years ago on like the second week of my channel, but I'm pretty sure I was mostly dead wrong then, and I beg you not to watch it. I'm serious. Don't do that to yourself. In any event, so what do we know for sure? First of all, we know that Kristen Ritter, Rachel Taylor, Ika Darville, and Will Trevall will all return for Season 2 as Jessica Jones, Trish Walker, Malcolm Ducasse, and Frank Simpson, respectively. I'd also wager that Carrie Ann Moss will most definitely come back as Jaren Hogarth as well. That is, unless she gets killed off in The Defenders, which is very unlikely. But so far, the only confirmed new casting is Janet McTeer as an unconfirmed role, who's most well known for playing Queen Elizabeth's mother in The White Queen. Her role is completely undisclosed, with not even the slightest hints as to her character's identity, with Jeff Loeb only saying, "We are so fortunate to have an actress of Janet's talent and stature join what is already an incredible cast. Our second season of Marvel's Jessica Jones aims to capture what audiences loved about our first, and Janet will be key to achieving that goal." I'll get into speculation on who she's playing in just a second, but first, here's one more thing we know for sure about this. Season 2 will be shot entirely by female directors, with S.J. Clarkson, who's directed the first two episodes of Jessica Jones Season 1 and The Defenders, undoubtedly among them. Okay, so now I'm going to go into all the character breakdowns provided, and then into MCU Exchange's guesses for their identity. Keep in mind they use codenames during casting to maintain secrecy. First up is Dr. Kirby, 60s, open ethnicity, scientist and freethinker, series regular, 1-year deal. Next is Presley, late 30s, male, African-American, intelligent, driven, self-assured, fractional series regular. Then we have Oliver, 34 to 38, male, Latino, artistic, paternal, smart, scruffy, and hip, series regular. And then finally we have Ingrid, early mid-30s, 5'8 to 5'11, female, dark hair, attractive and edgy, has a history of living on the streets, educated as a nurse, but streetwise, she is attracted to men and women. Series regular. Okay, so here are MCU Exchange's best guesses, and mine as well, because they seem to be, for the most part, pretty spot on. So, for Dr. Kirby, they suggested Dr. Carl Malice, who in the comics is the founder of the Institute for Supernormality Research, aka ISR, which sounds a bit like IGH. IGH is in some way responsible for Jessica Jones' powers, and it's more than likely that Season 2 will further explore her origins and their involvement in that. I think Malice would actually be a perfect villain for this. Really, all they'd have to do is change ISR to IGH. Also, side note, IGH does sound a bit like MGH, or mutant growth hormone, a drug in the comics that enhances mutants' powers and temporarily gives humans powers. So it's possible that this could be an inhuman growth hormone, which would make Jessica an inhuman, though I'd say that's very unlikely, but it's just a thought. Next up, the suggestion for Presley is Paul Denning, aka Paladin. Paladin is a PI for hire. As far as I can tell, sometimes he's a hero and sometimes he's not. He's basically a mercenary, and I think it's likely we'll see him here. Perhaps IGH or someone else hires him to pursue and or kill Jessica. And considering he's only a fractional series regular, That means he'll probably only be in 3 or 4 episodes, which adds a lot of meat to this theory. Next is Oliver, who is said to be Otis Johnson, though MCU Exchange did admit this one was a bit of a stretch. The reasons they chose him were because of his connections to Colleen Wing and Misty Knight in the comics, but he also has powers like Luke Cage's, only he's super scrawny and stuff. He got his powers from a chemical accident, which is kind of similar to how Jessica got hers, so it's entirely possible that it could be IGH who's responsible for giving him his abilities. I do think this one is pretty unlikely though. And then finally, 2 possibilities were given for Ingrid. The first is Ian Sue, who is actually from the recent Patsy Walker aka Hellcat comics. And considering Patsy's large role in Jessica Jones, this could be a possibility. He's an Inhuman who got kicked out by his girlfriend, bringing him to turn to crime before he ended up living with Patsy. So yeah, in some ways this fits, but I think I like MCU Exchange's second suggestion much better, just because it's really much more interesting. They suggest that this could be Typhoid Mary, a classic Daredevil villain who's long been rumored to be a villain in Jessica Jones Season 2. Honestly, I think this is perfect. Every single aspect of the casting call fits here except the nursing bit. While I would love to see this character go up against Daredevil at some point, I do think she is a perfect fit here. So finally, I wanted to talk about McTeer's character. There's been no reports or rumors on it whatsoever, but I do have a theory, and it actually ties into that old Jessica Jones Season 2 video I did that I told you not to watch. In it, I speculated that a villain for Jessica Jones Season 2 could be June Covington, aka the Toxie Doxie, who uses her brilliance to give genetic enhancements to herself. So I could definitely see her as a scientist working on IGH, perhaps seeking to work her way to the top. That could be very interesting. So, in conclusion, I think Season 2 of Jessica Jones will follow Jessica trying to find more about her origin and stop IGH, perhaps after meeting Otis. In fact, I actually think this reimagining of Otis could serve as a new love interest for Jessica, being as how Luke has moved on to Claire and they both have powers, giving them something to bond over. I'm not sure exactly how Typhoid Mary would fit into all this, but I'm very, very interested to find out if this is true. But in any event, what do you guys think? Do you think these guesses at the characters are spot on, or do you have any guesses of your own? What are your predictions for Season 2? Let me know your thoughts and theories in the comments below. I'd love to know them. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.